The most lively illustration of dance among the Jews is the dance at the Jewish wedding. For generations, the Orthodox Jewish groups have celebrated the new couple through movement of dance. This tradition rose from the Talmudic commandment, "Rejoice for the bride and the groom." This precept of dancing for the bride and groom has become the cornerstone for all Orthodox Jewish weddings. Dancing at Orthodox Jewish weddings obviously draws on tradition, but in recent years, we have begun to see changes suggesting that it is open to other influences from other cultures as well. A group that was a major influence on Jewish dance at weddings is the ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Jews. The Hasidic Jewish movement that began in Eastern Europe followed the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov. He taught that the highest form of prayer is that which not only moves the soul, but also sets the limbs in motion. It is this ideation and philosophy that brings dance to the wedding tradition. The mitzvah dance is a highlight at the Hasidic wedding. For this dance, things take a dramatic change. The portable walls come down and the bride and women can actually take a seat and watch the men participate in this dance. The reason for this peculiar change is that this dance is like no other dance. For one thing, the bride's gentle fluid twirls and movements are minimal. She will hold a long black rope called a garter, and it will be held on the other end by the one designated to dance with her. The bride is veiled and stands in the center like a luminous white vision. Leah Rabinowitz from Brooklyn remembers her mitzvah times. "I didn't know why I was suddenly allowed to dance in front of men, but when I heard the Bachman, who is the master of ceremonies, chanting, calling my ancestors and my unborn children to join us, my lips started moving, praying for this to transpire. This becomes the time for the bride to ask for a happy marriage, for children, for a good life, and any of her deepest prayers in her heart. The order of dances is significant. First comes the uncles and brothers, then the father-in-law, the father, and then finally the groom. This signifies the pathway to her new life. The father will ultimately give her to the groom, who is believed now to be the other half of her soul. The celebration through dance, ceremony of gestures and glides are rich with prayer and clearly resembles the teaching of their Hasidic leader. As in the Hasidic wedding celebrations, the non-Hasidic Jews also partake in traditional Jewish dances. The Hora is one of the most well-known traditional dances. It is performed to the song Hava Nagila, which is a Hebrew folk song. To dance the Hora, all the guests gather together on the dance floor and they circle, moving back and forth, kicking their feet kind of like in a grapevine step. For this dance, it's not choreographed and it's not like specific dance moves. The intense, joyous experiences at these weddings are expressed in this circle style of dance called free dancing. This free dancing style origin comes from when King David first bore the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem. He is described as hopping and dancing and jumping with joy. This unbridled joy, which consumed him at the moment, didn't allow him to restrict to specific movements or to an orchestrated steps or given dance. His whole being danced and jumped. So this style is emulated in this kind of like circle style dancing. So there's really no, organization. They get on a chair. While most Hasidic and non-Hasidic weddings stick to these classical dances, an exciting new Jewish rap artist named Nissim Black is influencing the movements and the sensibility of these Jewish weddings. Nissim Black is changing the way everybody moves and dances, thinks, and feels.
I am staying by your side to bask in your light and your mercy I reside.
My name is Nissim Black, and from Seattle, Washington, and here in Jerusalem, Holy City. I grew up exposed to a lot of violence, a lot of drug abuse, and gangs, and rapping about money and girls and violence and different things like that. I did a lot of big concerts, South by Southwest, and I was in CMJs and
my hope that I know you, my desire that I show you, gratitude that I owe you.
It became a situation where it was either my life or the other person's life, and where either I had to go and kill or be killed. And in that moment, all of a sudden, I just started praying, and I just started calling out to God. And I remember on the third day, I got a call from the other guy, and he also wanted to settle everything. And after we settled everything, and we got past it, I kept praying. And every day, I would talk to God more and more and more and more. I mean, I got to a place where I felt so confused. And I was praying one time, and I said to God, I said, listen, I'm going to start over. You and I are going to start over.
Wake up, my friend, we gone. We praising Hashem with all of ourselves. The Klippa is fighting, we know. We raging a war, we won't let them go.
Today, I make music that obviously is much more spiritually driven, more religious driven, because that's who I am as a person. So I've even seen, very ultra-Orthodox Haredi people, even in Mei Sharim, listening to my music as I'm walking past the store.
We are the light we shine on. It's a delight we cry on.
I went on this magical love affair with God, and that led me to the Jewish people. I was able to describe it and to talk about, what it felt like to come from such a distant place and to know that God brought me to this place right now, and what gratitude I owe him for being able to save my life in the way that he did.
In this song, Nissim Black collaborates with the famous cantor named Simon Ben Zakkain, and he makes this connection between the suffering of his ancestors and the past suffering of his newfound religious ancestor. He performs this song in a very meaningful expression, and the song creates a tremendous, powerful connection between two cultures.
I can't explain what write it down, but I can't even write my name. Oh, freedom, bring joy, my pain. Now do I pray to God or the conjurer? Seen others die from escape plans they conjured up. Sitting on the plantation, contemplating. No cures for these sores, only more hatred. If I can dream for a little bit, I dream about getting away. Wanna go far away from this place. Let me free so I can find my way. The sores won't fade, they will always remain. I know one thing's for sure, that we won't let it happen. I'm shy, but so what? I practice fine, Hashem's with me, and plus now Bobby showed up. It's only me in this universe, at least that's what they see. And sorry jokes for grown-ups, cause daddy wrote my speech. I feel so accomplished, all of the honor, it makes me feel so grown now. A parent to feeling like counting the million, and yes, sir, I ain't no child. It's a
The massive change in movement that Neeson's music brings is seen at some of the weddings now. Young men and women on their separate dance floors are doing the jig and the bop. Their hands are cutting and slicing the air while the rap music booms. Their bodies are popping and locking with a definitive hip-hop style. This beautiful embrace of other cultures at the weddings is innovative and refreshing. The radical changes that Neeson brings with his music and dance movements is a loving class on racial diversity. Through these wedding dance traditions, American Jews continue to feel connected to their ancient roots of Jewish life. Jewish dances have played a major role in American Jewish culture as well as the broader dance field. Jewish choreographers have incorporated these biblical experiences and practices in their dance. They have highlighted individuality in their disciples and have developed a different perspective for the dance culture. Some of the works may be contributed to American dance, embracing racial, religious, and ethnic diversity.